Hello, you're listening to E-Bible Fellowship's new open forum excerpts, and now we present the following excerpt.
Welcome to our open forum program. Please go ahead with your call.
Daniel chapter 12, verses 1 and 2.
Daniel 12 in verse 1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation even to that time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt.
I was thinking about this, and I was wondering, there's a resurrection unto life, and that would be the transformation of God's people in the twinkling of an eye. But the resurrection of shame and everlasting contempt, I think the last time we looked at this was Mr. Camping's perception of the bodies being scattered across the earth in the sight and shame. But could it be possible that God would not even touch the bodies of the non-elect? Because why would God even do that in terms of touching the bodies of an unsaved individual who God would have nothing to do with?
What do you mean by touch?
To supernaturally move the physical body of an unsaved dead creature where his spirit no longer
To
dwells in.
raise them like it says.
Right. So in terms of the raising, does it have to be a physical raising? Because could it also be for example, when Christ rose from the dead, and many who were in the graves which slept arose, is it possible that the unsaved graves would not be touched? And would that be a type of declaration of a rising of shame? Does it have to be physical? Could it also mean, let's say there's an elect person who was raised from the dead, their grave was opened, but a non-elect person, their grave was not even touched. And so that would, in a sense, be a type of shame.
I don't think so, because it's using the word, many of them that sleep. Here it speaks of awaking. And over in John 5, it says, verse 28, marvel not at this, for the hour is coming in the which all that are in the grave shall hear his voice, and shall come forth, they that have done good unto the resurrection of life, and they that have done evil unto the resurrection of damnation. We find awake in Daniel, come forth, resurrection used in relationship to both the elect who are rising and the unsaved. To resurrect, people think, well, they're being reconstituted, they're being returned to their former body, because we know they weren't saved. They didn't receive a new resurrected spiritual body. But no, we don't have to understand that. The word resurrect just simply means to rise, to raise up. And so on the literal last day, because that's the day, as Jesus said, I will raise you up at the last day, several times in the Gospel of John. I will raise you up at the last day. Now we're looking at May 21, 2011 as Judgment Day. We know Judgment Day is the last day, which is correct. There's a spiritual last day, as the Lord said about his word, the word that I have spoken, the same will judge you in the last day. So we know the word is judging presently. Therefore, we're in the last day. Well, that's Judgment Day. Judgment Day would be that last day, and it's a prolonged Judgment Day period. So, it can be a little difficult to understand, but it began May 21, the last day, and continues according to biblical evidence until the year 2033, someday in that year. And then there will come a literal 24-hour last day, the end of the prolonged judgment day, that's the day for rapture and resurrection. Well, reverse order will be resurrection, then rapture, according to 1 Thessalonians 4. And so God is speaking of those in the graves. All in the graves will hear his voice. And again, that implies, well, now the unsaved will be able to hear. Well, only in the sense of the command will be to rise up, and they will rise up. God will give the command. God will perform the action of raising up their dead body, whatever left. And since it's a response to the command of God, it's akin to hearing, though they're still dead, though they never had spiritual ears, and they don't even have physical ears to hear at that point. But just the response that God is causing will be as though they hear, and they will come up. They will come up.
Thanks for watching, and be on the lookout for more new open forum excerpts that will be added periodically.